Hi, everybody. I know that I'm a few days early on this, but I know that we need to start getting prepared, and I'm excited, so I wanted to get going and kind of get everybody welcomed into the week of holistic healing. And the January session is going to be a little bit more intensive than they have been in the past months. We've done this, I think, 4 or 5 times now, and every time we've done it, we've gotten a little bit better at it. I have anyway, and I know that a lot of the ladies who've been doing this a few times, it's every time we do it, just like any skill, we get better at it. Our habits become more solidified, and it just becomes a little bit more of a natural process for us to do the clean stuff. So for me, this is, I think, my fifth run through of the week of healing nutritional portion. But I'm adding in the other sides of holistic healing, which is, mind, body, spirit focused. All three of them go together hand in hand. So I wanted to do, since we're really setting our intention for 2019, this time I wanted to add those sides in because we get the most healing from that. So we can really, I don't know, I feel like we have a big opportunity. I'm just really excited and pumped up for this session. So I'm going to set it up and kind of outline what we're going to be doing this time. Say hi guys. So that we're ready to go on Tuesday. So Tuesday is the start of the challenge, the 7-day challenge, for lack of a better word. It is really an exercise. It's a practice exercise more than a challenge. But however you want to look at it, we're really just going to set up our year by setting this week of intention. So this program is completely doable. I made it so that it isn't super time constrictive. If you just dedicate about half an hour a day to doing your self-care stuff, then you will be golden. So, other than it requiring a little bit of possibly more sleep for some of you, I know some people don't get a lot of sleep, and so that might be a struggle for some of you. But like I said, every time we do this, we get better at it. And in the beginning, the first couple run throughs, for me, even just doing the nutrition portion was still, a challenge. So just take it on and do the best you can, and know that, the sky's the limit. So this, whatever you put up front, the work that you put in over this weekend, today and then hopefully Monday, and to get set up for Tuesday so that you have a plan sort of for your nutrition and what you're going to be doing each day is clear in your mind, the better you're going to do over these 7 days, and which means the better these ideas and habits can sort of get ingrained into you in this free week. So I'm just kind of stressing that the more prepared you can be by the time we start, especially on the nutrition portion, the better you're going to do with all of this. So yeah, that's about it. So just be really prepared, and you're going to do okay. If you can't put a ton of time in on being prepared and you end up kind of winging it a little bit, you can make that happen as well for the 7 days. Don't get me wrong. But it's just a little bit easier, and we have better success, I think, if we prepare ahead of time. So I did post in the group a plan, like a shopping list, and daily, you can do your meal planning for each day for those 7 days on the worksheet that I posted yesterday. So that is there for a reference, and it has the chia juice recipe ingredients on that list and whatnot. So all right, so setting our intentions, like I just said, that's what we're doing over these 7 days, and this is just a really awesome opportunity to, while we're healing over these 7 days, really be focusing on, who we want to be in a year, right? Physically, how do we want to feel, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of that, and use this time, just use this week to really get clear in that and feel how good it feels to be doing the self-care stuff. And when I talk about self-care, I'm talking about the journaling, all of this meditation, journaling, nutrition, all of that is self-care, caring for yourself in the way that your higher self would want you to support your body. All right. So it's entirely up to you what happens here. And I have seen in a year's time, I have seen people lose 80 to 100 pounds. I was one of them, actually. I lost 80 pounds on my own journey. And so what happens in the next 10 to 12 months is really anything's possible. And so over these 7 days, we're going to see what's possible. And so I really am challenging you guys to dig deep in these 7 days and do as much healing, as healthy as possible, right? That we've been talking about if you're a client of mine at all, getting as healthy as possible over these 7 days, so that you can see what's possible. And it might inspire you to push a little harder and do a little bit more than you would have before over the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. If happiness is a huge part of this as well. So happiness is part of our health. Holistic health really takes into account the necessity of happiness in our life. So that is something we need to be focusing on as well. We can shift our mindsets in a lot of ways. So in the beginning, when we're doing something new, sometimes it doesn't feel very good, but that doesn't mean we should just throw it away. It doesn't mean it's not good for us or whatever. So feeling this out, doing what's good for you, even though sometimes it's not the easiest, or doesn't always look like it's going to be the best thing. I was listening to a really powerful sermon by Marianne Williamson yesterday, and she was talking about that sometimes we get the message, but we don't really want to hear the message because we know what it's going to require of us. So, she was talking about in prayer and when you're looking for guidance and when you're in meditation and things, and that you can, ask for the answer. And when you get the answer, you disregard the answer because it's just, doesn't feel really good that this is what it looks like. But it's the same with our health. And, looking for the answers in our health, it doesn't always, it's not always going to be easy, but it's still what's best for us. And so be honest with yourself about that, and be honest about what your body is capable of, which I'm about to get to in a second. But this is really a great opportunity this week to see what we're capable of. So, all right, so this is, like I was saying, holistic health looks at mind, body, and spirit and the interconnectedness, which can be a little bit abstract. So I want to explain a little bit about that. Mind, of course, we're talking about a lot of different things, emotional wellness as well as mindset. So with a healthy mind, having a healthy mindset as far as wanting to be as healthy as we can be, and live fulfilling lives in that regard, sort of with that foundation. Mind work is very important in that. We can't, without fixing some of the way that we look at unhealthy foods, or some of the ways that we look at our routines as being fulfilling, when they really aren't serving us and things like that. Until we get to some of the core stuff in that, it's really hard to heal our bodies, heal our physical bodies, because we're not necessarily as on track with our nutrition and hitting our staying routine with our fitness and stuff like that. So there is a mind component to health, a really big mind component to health. It's really the foundational work. So don't necessarily disregard the journaling and meditation work that we're going to do this over this coming up week. Super important. This is why I added in each of these categories, the mind, body, spirit. That's why I added all three of them in this session, because it's so powerful when you put them all together. So perfection isn't necessary, but we are going to be attempting each of this if at all possible. If you wanted to just do the nutrition portion, of course you can, but I highly recommend doing some of this other work as well. So, leave any of, because we've heard things and created our own preconceived ideas about our health and our fitness and our weight and whatever you might be working on. We have these subconscious sort of mindset patterns that are going on there. And for this week, I would like us to leave some of it behind. Some of it, like a lot of the things are genetic, for example. We will have a genetic condition. But even if something is genetic, there's a really broad scale on the symptoms that we could or may not have. And that's determined by our health. So even genetic conditions can be somewhat controlled by how healthy we keep ourselves. So believing in our body's ability to heal is so super important when we are taking on anything, because we will give up way faster if we're not really believing that we're accomplishing anything, that we can't see ourselves, we can't see our cells regenerating and being stronger than the last generation of cells when they come in and that sort of thing. That's not something we can see. So why continue to do it if we can't see it? So believing in it is very important, and being able to visualize it eventually becomes really helpful as well. So we can work on that as well over this year. If you've been told something's incurable, maybe, or that maybe you've just grown to believe that your circumstances are out of your control or something like that. And whether it's emotional wellness or unwellness, or physical ailments and pain, and you might even just see something coming for you physically, as in medically, no matter what it is, just leave that stuff behind. That it's not under your control. Let's just if you have to pretend and put on a pretend cap for this week, then do it, because that's where you're going to get the best results over those 7 days. And that's also one of the things the journaling will help with, is sort of leaving some of that behind in this coming year. So, all right, so this is the nuts, and I'm going to start getting into some of the nuts and bolts of what we're going to be doing really quickly. But the daily, our daily practice here, we're going to be practicing every day on this curriculum. Shouldn't take you very much time, like I said, and I really just, if you can have a daily plan of when you're going to do what, when is the most convenient time for you to have a quiet mind time, and that stuff. So I'll give you some suggestions here in a minute for how I like to do it and how I think that you would get the best results for it, but really fit it in where whatever's beneficial to your lifestyle and your routines and habits, because only really when you're stretched for time and all of that. So daily journaling is going to be one of the things we're doing. Like I said, I'll give you guys a journal prompt that's going to give you some ideas. The topics are really meant to start out to empower you over this year to do whatever you want to do for your health and happiness over 2019. So if a specific day's journal prompt really resonates with you, then dig a little deeper and go deeper on it. That's how journaling works. And so if you're not familiar with journaling, follow the brain patterns, the path, the brain path, wherever it leads you, your mind leads you, just go with it. Because those are thoughts that come when we're in our quiet time, and our meditation time is where we need to be and where the lessons are at. That's, and that's also, when I say that's where the lessons are at, I'm talking about the mindset lessons, right? The shifting of our mindsets and that sort of thing. So I recommend doing your journaling immediately after your meditation time. Your mind is very open during that time, and you're able to really receive the messages that need to go down on paper, and that you need to, it's like an extension of the meditation to take it a little bit deeper even. So you can do it that way. However, just quieting your mind is beneficial on its own without having, like, you don't have to be thinking, and I'm going to get into the meditation portion in just a minute, but the meditation portion, we're not going to be focusing on things, and I'll talk to you about that in a second, but to quiet your mind first, and then start focusing on the content that you're writing, is really super powerful. So, if you can't do them back to back, if you can't do the meditation followed by the journaling, then you can do it on its own, do the journaling on its own. But I just recommend quieting your mind, taking a few minutes to close your eyes and deep breathe and get quiet for just a few seconds, just 15 to 20 seconds or whatever, and calm yourself and then do your journaling. That also helps. I like to do even a short little prayer and ask for the messages that I need to receive just right before I start journaling. So, all right. So quieting the mind, like I was saying, for 5 to 10 minutes a day, it does a lot of things physiologically for our body, and can sort of create an environment of healing. So the calming our body does a lot of things as far as changing our neurotransmitters and our hormonal signals. So it's really powerful for your body. This isn't just a mind practice. It does things, it completely changes your physiology. So there's lots of studies that have been done on meditation and quiet time and that sort of thing. So it's the intention of our meditation and our meditative time is not actually to shut down our thoughts. It is to calm ourselves, quiet ourselves, and start over time, over months of time of practicing meditation. You learn more mindfulness. You become more aware of your subconscious thoughts that are really driving your life. And so that is what the purpose of a meditation practice is. So in the beginning, if you're new to meditation, then you want to start with just a really simple back to breath meditation, which means every time your mind starts getting thoughts and getting kind of chaotic again, then you just start focusing back on your breath and trying to calm yourself again. And then, so let the thoughts come in, recognize them, and then go back to your breath, and sort of recenter yourself. In the beginning, it can be very chaotic. A mind can be very chaotic for somebody. And so you can end up, constantly going back to breath. It's just like one, back to breath, because you're just getting kind of one thought after another. But after a while, you actually become better at this, and you can use it for stress relief, all sorts of different things, but stress relief, which is really good for heart health and things like that as well. So I'll leave it at that, but I could go on and on about meditation because it's so powerful and I really love it. And I wish that it was taught at a really young age for kids as far as learning how to manage their thoughts and emotions and stuff. So I will post a short back to breath meditation, a guided that I've made for my clients, and I'll just post that for you guys here probably in files. You can look in files, and I'll also tag it with the topic of Week of Healing here inside the group. If you didn't know that, the group has topics that you can search and look up different topics for all the things that we've posted and things. So like I was saying, the sleep is a little bit more challenging for some people, not me. I love, I feel like sleep recenters me. It's calming. I enjoy it. So there's hormonal processes, especially that happen when we sleep, like releasing growth hormone, which keeps our bodies lean. And that's, keeping our metabolism up and that sort of thing. That only happens when we sleep. And when we're not sleeping more than, 3 or 4 hours in a stint, it can start affecting us. It stresses out taxes our system, stresses out our system. We release more cortisol. We pack on belly fat. There's just so many different things that can happen. And also our body heals itself naturally. There's a lot of things that our body heals. All of our cells, I can't say all of them, most of our cells regenerate at their own timeline. Some of them take a few days to, before a new cell is born and an old cell dies off. An organ cell or tissue cell or whatever, starts at a few days. Some of them take months, some of them take years, like liver cells and things take longer to regenerate. So if you are healing constantly, our bodies are constantly healing, fighting off viruses, fighting off autoimmunity issues and stuff like that, and we're not sleeping appropriately, then our body isn't able to focus on the healing. So that rest time is really important as far as healing goes, and we're always healing. So, keep that in mind. A lot of people will say, oh, I do just fine. I do just fine on 4 hours of sleep a night. I don't need any more sleep than that. I don't feel like I need more sleep than that or whatever. And I get that, like that might feel right. But at the same time, we don't really know what's going on underlying if we're not getting the right rest. So let's not assume that, that our body's able to heal in those 3 hours every night. So if we are technically throughout the day being bombarded by toxins and chemicals and things like that, is 3 hours at night really going to be enough time to heal from those things? So just keep that in mind. I mean, we are healing all the time. I'm not saying that, but when we sleep, there's specific things that are healing that wouldn't be if we didn't get that sleep. So another aspect is activity. Getting your blood flowing every day, a little bit every day, does amazing things for your health, brain health, as well as your bodily health. So this challenge is, depending on your level, you're going to do what you can every day. If you're already getting activity every day, then you can stick with what you're doing. If you're not and you've been very sedentary, then I recommend doing some stretches. I have a video I will post that has a full body stretch that I think is about 20 minutes long. And just doing the stretching can take away tons of pain in your joints and your back and your neck. And I have to stretch, otherwise I feel a lot of pain. So have a really bad back and a lot of pain issues in my joints and neck and stuff. So it helps me tremendously. And getting some fitness in your core and things also helps mitigate it a lot. So I recommend it. If you're looking for fitness that you enjoy, then start really, there is fitness that you can enjoy, and I just look for that. That is a really great, like, New Year's resolution to have, is to start seeking out things that don't necessarily feel like so much work and outside of your comfort zone and stuff. Core exercises are really necessary, especially as we age, and they help to build bone as well. So Pilates mat work is something that I would look for also. You can find so many videos on just YouTube, or even if you have cable or dish or any of those things, there are specific channels you can subscribe to that have a lot of that stuff at, $8 a month or whatever, $6 a month. So think outside the box and just sort of get creative and find something that might work for you. There are a lot of different things you can try. Tai Chi. I did Tai Chi in college and found that I really loved it. And that's very low impact. Feels like you're not doing a lot of work, but your blood flows and you sweat, and it's a completely different thing. And most people who've never tried it before would never think of something like that. So there are just a lot of different things that you can do. Swimming is a good one. I've had quite a few clients since I closed my fitness studio transition to swimming, and as a regular fitness thing, and that's been really great. So I recommend that as well. Just really seek out the fitness that's at your level. You don't have to pull things and start at a really super fast pace, because we only have our joints once in our life, right? I mean, of course you can have replacements, but then you have scar tissue, limited mobility, all that stuff. So start at your level, but don't limit yourself. Know that you can accomplish. I was at 38 years old doing triathlon. So you can do, there's lots of stuff, right, that you can do. A sprint triathlon, I should say. All right. So nutrition wise, we're really focusing on increasing our nutrients. So the more, I don't know if you've been catching some of my cellular health videos recently, but the more you bombard your body with vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals and antioxidants, it forces the toxins out of your cells. So you can really, in a short amount of time, drastically improve your health if you just focus on getting in as much fruits, vegetables, taking some supplements like your multivitamin and vitamin D, and maybe some vitamin C for some extra antioxidants, and turmeric for antioxidants and pain relief and anti-inflammatory properties. If there's a regimen that my clients usually go through that's pretty much what I was just saying, where you take the supplements and you start focusing on the getting in your vegetables, really, and as much health superfoods as you can, and then you just start feeling better, having more energy. Things don't feel as daunting, and then the rest of the habits and process comes a little more naturally, a little bit less, in a struggly way. Struggly, is that a word? I don't know. All right, so if you could just veggies, fruits, herbs, fresh herbs that you can put in your meals that you're going to be preparing, whatever you can do. That's what the chia drink is for. The chia juice drink that I have, that's what it is for. I'll also post the turmeric or repost the turmeric ginger spiced tea recipe, because those are all just super high in vitamins and antioxidants. So as much as you can do, if you can only, if you are really busy during the day, but can be drinking something, then you focus on your beverages, right? Getting in as many nutrients in the beverages you're drinking as possible. Add lemon juice, add apple cider vinegar, whatever, some kombucha, mix kombucha in with some sparkling water or something, and just be getting nutrients in. That is going to make such a huge difference on the way that you feel this week. But if it's, we have to strategize in the nutrition. And if the meals are a struggle for us, but like I have clients who are nurses and teachers who are on their feet a lot and don't have a lot of time to stop and eat something. And so that's what we do. We focus more on beverages that they can be drinking that have nutrients in them. Not necessarily protein shakes even, but other beverages that they can drink. Of course, sometimes protein as well. But so the protocol, lots of water and tea. You're going to be flushing toxins, right? So the more water you can be drinking, other than the obvious reasons that we're drinking water, our body is water and all of that, flushing everything out is going to be important, because you can get detox headaches pretty good if you're not careful. It's like getting a massage or anything and they tell you to drink a lot of water afterwards. That's why, because you want to flush that stuff out. Don't let the toxins settle into your fat cells, or your don't let the toxins stay in your bloodstream, or settle into your fat cells, because that's going to cause a lot of discomfort. So chia aloe antioxidant juice, it is high in soluble fiber, so that also helps to clear out your intestinal tract. It increases your good fats with the chia, as well as your soluble fiber. So really, really good for you as far as helping you to detox and pump you, full of vitamins. I've got the recipe in there already posted. I'll probably end up starting a whole photo album for this program. So then we've also got the green juice, or smoothies, or salads. So you're either doing 2 salads a day, or 2 small salads, or 1 really big salad, or doing green juices up to 16 to 24 ounces of green juice or smoothies every day. So that is meant to get the vitamins and the antioxidants from your fruits and veggies, and like I said, bombard us with some nutrients, get us healthy, have that healthy as possible mindset. That's what this is all based on. The 2 meals, so you can have 2 meals, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, you get to pick. And these are veggie heavy meals, so they can still have meat in them, but focus really on adding in veggies and making it a veggie heavy meal, like stir fries and that sort of thing, that is sort of, veggies are the main ingredients. Soups are really good for that as well. So plan your week out really based around vegetables as much as you possibly can. We're doing no sugar, so no added sugars. Avoid any baked goods, of course, and desserts and candies and anything like that. Sugar feeds the bad bacteria in our gut. It does a lot of things that aren't the best for us. So let's just try to avoid that as much as we can. And then, or completely, and then gluten as well. So gluten, the removal of that is to let your intestinal tract heal. Whether you have a known intolerance to it or not, it is just hard on our intestinal lining. It's now estimated that over 80% of Americans have leaky gut, which means actual tears in your intestinal wall, letting toxins get into your bloodstream. So avoiding gluten and dairy for those reasons. Dairy also inflames our intestinal tract, makes it really rough, makes the lining of our intestinal tract wall really rough and easier to damage by the foods we eat and the chemicals we ingest and things. So no sugar, no gluten, no dairy. Soy, it is questionable. So if you are vegan or something and soy is one of the things that you rely on for your protein or something, that's an exception. But soy, for the majority of us, avoid soy because it interacts with our our endocrine system, our hormones. So our female hormones, especially our estrogen and progesterone. And then toxins, of course. So processed foods, processed flours, processed sugar, any of the processed grains. If you can, so cut those out. Processed boxed meals and things like that have already been cooked, and convenience meals, TV dinners, that type of stuff. Avoid any of that because the added preservatives and chemicals is going to hinder our healing over this week, as well as caffeine is supposed to be avoided during this as well. So the caffeine hormonally, as well as the acidity, also is something we need to take into account of over this week. So I won't lie, it's one of the hardest parts for a lot of people in this program. I struggled the first couple times that I did this, but now I switched to green tea. I do a little bit of black tea, and then I just cut the coffee out for the 7 days. It's only 7 days. It's not forever, but this is one of the more challenging things in the program. So do your best, and I'm sure you can do it. So then we've also got there's so much you have so much access to a lot of different videos that I have done. Oh, that's okay, no problem. Just come back to it. So past videos, I've got the chia juice video. So it explains what chia does for you and what that juice in particular does for your body. If you're one of those people that likes to really get some of the educational part of it so that you know what you're doing, that'll help you. You can find these in the nutrition group as well as on the High Vibe and Holistically Healthy page. There's even photo albums, I think, in that page that you can find them. But there's also the Getting Started video for the Week of Healing in the nutritional page that gives you some shopping tips and some different things like that as well. I've done a video on getting your family on board, like how to not be super pushy to where they don't want to participate and all of that, and to let it be, inspire them and let it sort of become a little bit of their idea. And then I also did a really educational video on leaky gut itself, on what it is, how it happens, how it is causing autoimmune disease and different autoimmune issues. So you search through some videos in the nutrition group. I'll leave the link here so that if you're not in there, you can hop over there as well as on that page. Dozens and dozens and dozens of videos. So look through them, and anything that rings a bell for you. I've got my own autoimmune story, for my husband's psoriasis that he was able to heal himself from. So lots of good stuff, inspirational stuff and whatever. So feel free to look around in the files and see whatever PDFs you can find and that sort of stuff. And I will be also coming live on here to do the kickoff video on the 1st on Tuesday, and just sort of getting us set up and congratulating everybody, getting us a little bit motivated and inspired to really kill it over these 7 days. So I'm here for you guys. If you need anything at all, please post in the group. Let us know what you're struggling on. If you need recipe help or how to stay on track, or you just want to vent because you're struggling, whatever it might be, post in the group, because it helps somebody else as well every time you do. Because we all struggle. Like, nobody's perfect at this. I don't claim to be perfect by any means, even though I've been doing this now for 10 years, trying to improve my own family's lifestyle. I'm still not perfect. I still keep finding new science and, new habits and falling back, and just, it's just for everybody. We do our best. So that is the whole purpose of these 7 days, is, to just practice. So please let me know how you need help. All right, so that's it, you guys. This was just, really, I want you guys to have everything that you need starting on Tuesday. So get your shopping done. If you haven't already, make sure that you are prepared for what's coming up on Tuesday. Look over the nutrition, what are your 2 meals each day that you're going to be eating, and what do you need to buy for that, so that you don't have any surprises. However, if you find yourself in the middle of the week and you're crunched for time and you can't come up with an idea for dinner and you're going to fall off the track, then post in the group, because you'll have 5 or 6 people immediately helping you out and supporting you, right? So, all right. So much love to you guys. I am really, really excited about this. I'm going to be participating in this with you as well, and let's hold hands, and do this together and make it a really fun experience, and healing as possible. I didn't get a lot into, healing of past emotional traumas and things like that, because I think some of the journaling might get into that. But that's such a deep thing that in 7 days, we would just be touching the tip of the iceberg. And I wouldn't be helping anybody if I just opened up a bunch of stuff and then left you on your own. It wouldn't be responsible of me as a coach to open up old wounds and then let you on your own way in 7 days. So that's something I can work more in depth with you on if you want. And definitely in the 14-week holistic healing program is exactly where you need to be if you want to work on some of the emotional healing and relationship healing and unconditional love and all of that sort of stuff, self-love. So, all right, guys, sending you guys so much love, holding space for you for sure over these next 9 days, counting today and tomorrow. And here for you. Let me know what you need. I'll talk to you guys soon.